Okay, Algebra 2, let's get ready for this test review. Alright, so word problems all day, systems of equations, these are going to be fun. Altogether, 292 tickets were sold for a high school basketball team. I'm gonna highlight this 292. I know that's a total. It says altogether, so I'm actually just going to put that in right away, equals 292. Put the totals after the equal sign. An adult ticket costs $3 and a student ticket costs $1. Those are going to be important. And ticket sales were a total of $470. So equals 470. Alright, so now we also have to put in some variables. We're talking about an adult ticket and a student ticket. So I'm going to call it A and S. So we've done enough of these. We know there has to be an A and an S in each one of these equations. Okay, now the only other thing that we got to do is we've got to put in the money. $3 for an adult ticket and $1 for a student ticket. So my question is, where are those going to go, on the top or the bottom? Well, it's $3 and $1. We've got dollars on the bottom, so it's going to be dollars, dollars, dollars on the bottom. 3 adults plus 1 student equals 470. So here is our, and on the top, if you just add the adults and the students together, it's going to be 292 tickets sold. Alright, so how are we going to do this? Well, I can multiply the top by the bottom and bottom by the top. That's always going to work. But I also see here that the S's are already the same number. They're both 1. So I just need to change the signs. I'm going to change them on the top. So I'm going to make this a negative A, a negative S, and a negative 292. And now let's see what happens when we combine them. Negative A plus 3A is going to be 2A. Negative S plus 1S is 0. And negative 292 plus 470 is going to be 178. Last step, divide by 2. A equals, that looks like it's going to be 89. So we sold 89 tickets. Well, if you remember our original equation, that's the one I'm going to use. A plus S equals 292. And the adults were 89. So put that in for A. Subtract the 89 over. And we're going to get S equals 203. So there's 203 student tickets and 89 adult tickets. Let's look at number 3. Company orders 2 types of parts, brass and steel. One shipment contains 3 brass and 10 steel parts. I'm just going to write that down right now. 3 brass plus 10 steel. And it cost $48. That's our total. The second one is 7 brass plus 4 steel was $54. Okay, so those are the equations we've got. 3B plus 10S was 48. 7 brass and 4 steel was 54. So let's go ahead and multiply the top by the bottom and the bottom by the top. Multiply the top by 7, bottom by 3. I'm going to put our new equations in blue. So on the top, that's going to be 21B plus 70S equals 48 times 7 is what? 48 times 7 is 336. Now the bottom times 3. 3 times 7, that's going to be a 21B plus a 12S plus 162. Okay, now I need to change the signs on either the top or the bottom so that one of those B's is negative. Maybe I'll change them on the top. So I'm going to change those, make this a negative 21B, make that a negative 70S, and a negative 336. Okay, so let's see. Negative 70 plus 12 is going to be a negative 58S. Negative 336 plus 162 is going to be negative 174. And when I divide by negative 58, I ran out of room, but it's going to be S equals 3. So each steel was $3. So each steel was $3. Now, let's go back and I'm going to use the top equation right here. 3B plus 10S, 3B plus 10S equals 48. And S was 3, so I'm going to just sub that 3 in for the S. So we've got 3b plus 10 times 3, well, that's going to be 30. 3b plus 30 equals 48. Subtract the 30. 3b equals 18. Divide by 3, and we're going to get b equals 6. So each brass part is going to be $6. All right, number 4 is tricky. Suppose you have just enough coins to pay for a loaf of bread priced at $1.95. You have a total of 12 coins. Okay, so I see our two totals here. The first total was $1.95, and the second total was 12. Okay, we have just enough to pay, so that's how much we have. We have a total of 12 coins with only quarters and dimes. Okay, so if I add my quarters plus my dimes, the number of quarters plus the number of dimes, that's going to be $12. Okay, how do we get $1.95? This one's going to be a little bit more tricky. Each quarter is worth 0.25, 25 cents. Each dime is worth 0.10. So 0.25 times the number of quarters we have plus 10 cents times the number of dimes we have is going to be equal to $1.95. So let's do this. I could multiply the top by the bottom and the bottom by the top. That'll totally work. Okay, but let's look at something different in this case. Looking at that 0.25D, I really don't like those 0.25. I don't like those decimals. But here's what I know. Quarters, if I have 4 quarters, it's going to be an even dollar, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the top by 4. Okay? Watch what happens when I multiply the top and only the top by 4. 4 times times 0.25 is going to be 1Q. 4 times 0.10 is going to be 0.40D. And 4 times $1.95 is going to be $3.80. Okay? So now, look at this. My Q's are the same number. They're both 1s. Okay? See how slick that was? So, the blue one, I don't even need to change this bottom equation. These are the two new equations that I'm working with. All right? So, again, I multiplied 4 times 0.25 just because I saw that could make it a 1, and then our quarters are going to cancel. All right, so I'm going to change, let's change the bottom. Negative 1Q, negative 0.40, and negative 380. All right, now let's see what we have. 1Q minus 1Q is 0. 1D minus 0.4D is going to be 0.60D. And then 12 minus 380 is going to be $8.20. So let's see what that is. What's 82 divided by 0.60? I'm sorry, $8.20 divided by 0.60 equals, and I made a mistake somewhere. Let's see. 0.25 plus 0.10 is $1.95. Q plus D is definitely equal to 12. 0.40. Was I right there? Oh, I see it. Oh, $1.95 times 4. That was definitely not $3.80. That was $7.80. Okay. So now, let's check this again. 12 minus $7.80 is going to be $4.20. Sorry about that. Yeah, this looks much better. All right, so let's do this. Divide by 0.60, and we're going to get D equals 7. So we've got 7 dimes. All right, now if we go back up to this equation up here, Q plus D equals 12, and we have 7 dimes. Put 7 in for D. Subtract 7, and we're going to get Q equals 5. So our answer is 5 quarters and 7 dimes. All right, let's see if we can find something else. I'm gonna skip number 5. I think you can do that on your own. Let's do number 4. John and Marco are going to a football game. John leaves at 1 o'clock and drives 40 miles per hour. Marco leaves at 2 o'clock and drives 50 miles per hour. When will Marco catch up with John? Okay, so let's see. Well, we could just make a chart. John and Marco. At 1 o'clock, neither one has gone anywhere. By 2 o'clock, John has traveled 50 miles. I'm sorry, John has traveled 40 miles. Marco still hasn't left. At 3 o'clock, John has traveled 80. At 4 o'clock, John has traveled 120. At 5 is 160. At 6 o'clock is 200. At 7 o'clock is 240. Let's see about Marco. Marco left at 3 o'clock, or at 2 o'clock, so he hadn't traveled anywhere. But then by 3 o'clock he traveled 50 miles, and the next one's going to be 100, and then he went 150, and then the next one was 200. So it looks like John's going to catch Marco. Marco's going to catch John at 6 o'clock. Let's see if we can figure this out algebraically. All right, so John leaves at 1 o'clock and drives 40 miles per hour. So John is 40 times x. Marco is going to be 50 times x, except Marco didn't leave at the same time John did. Marco left 1 hour later, so this has to be 1 hour smaller, so we're just going to go x minus 1. Let's see. So we've got 40x. Distribute the right side. 50x minus 50. Let's see. Subtract the 50 over. 50x over. Negative 10x equals negative 50. Okay, so let's just pause. So the 40x was 40 miles per hour for John. Okay, 40 times the number of hours. Okay. The 50, we wanted to do 50x because it was 50 miles per hour, so 50 times x, but Marco didn't drive as many hours as John did, so we have to subtract 1. So then when we distribute it, it's going to be 50x minus 50, and then we're just solving from there. Back down to the negative 10x equals negative 50, divide by negative 10, and we're going to get x equals 5. So they're going to do it 5 hours after John left, and if John left at 1 o'clock, add 5, and they're going to catch up to each other at 6 o'clock, which is what we found before. Okay. Number 5. 3 friends go shopping. The first friend buys 1 hat plus 2 shirts plus 2 pairs of jeans for $81. The second friend buys 2 hats plus 2 shirts plus 1 pair of jeans for $70. The third friend buys 1 hat plus 3 shirts plus 2 pairs of jeans for $91. Okay, this is going to be hard, very hard. First of all, we're going to eliminate in the top equation. So we'll multiply the top by the bottom and the bottom by the top. So we've got 2h plus 2s plus 4j. Ooh, I just about made a mistake. 2h plus 4s plus 4j equals 162. On the bottom, multiplying by 1 just stays the same. 2h plus 2s plus 1j equals 70. Okay, now, change the signs. I'm going to change them on the bottom. And let's see what we have. 2h minus 2h is 0. 4s minus 2s is going to be 2s. And 4 minus 1 is going to be 3j. And 162 minus 70, that's going to be 92. So that's our first equation. All right, now let's go to green. And we did the top 2 equations. Now we're going to come back here and do the bottom two equations. We're going to multiply the top by the bottom and the bottom by the top. Okay, so doing this first equation right there, that's going to be 2h plus 2s plus 1j equals 70. And the bottom equation, 2 times 1 is going to be 2h, 2 times 3s is going to be 6s, and 2 times 2j is going to be 4j, equals 182. Okay, change the signs. I'm going to change them, maybe I'll change them on the top. Change all of them, including a 70. So negative 2h plus 2h is 0. Negative 2s plus 6s is going to be 4s. Negative 1j plus 4j is going to be 3j. And negative 70 plus 182 is going to be 92. Okay, now let's bring these together and combine these two. 4s plus 3j equals 92. Okay. Let's see. Oh. My goodness. I'm sorry. I'm distracted. It's almost lunchtime, and I am not working very well. This is 112. I'm not sure why I wrote 92 there. That should be 112. I bet you caught that. All right, now, let's come here. I could multiply right over here with the blue and the green equation. I could multiply the top by the bottom and the bottom by the top there, but I don't need to because the j's are the same. So I'm just going to change those signs. On the bottom, that's a negative 4s, change that to a negative 3j and a negative 112. So when I put these together, I've got negative 2s is equal to negative 20. Divide by negative 2, and s is going to be equal to $10. All right, now let's take that 10 and sub it back into this equation. I'm going to choose this equation right there. So I've got 2s plus 3j equals 92. And I know that s is equal to 10. So this is going to be 2 times 10 plus 3j equals 92. 2 times 10 is 20. So subtract 20 over, and I'm going to have 3j equals 72. Divide by 3, j equals 24. So I've got two of them. Now let's come back over here all the way back to the original equations that we wrote. I'm going to choose the easiest one that I think is easiest. 1h plus 2s plus 2j equals 81. And I know s is 10, so I've got 1h plus 2 times 10 plus 2 times j, which is 24, equals 81. And let's just simplify this. 1h plus 20 plus 48 equals 81. Okay, so 20 plus 48 is going to be 1h plus 68 equals 81. Subtract the 68, 1h equals 13. All right, so we've got our answer. Let me see if I can circle this. Don't lose this answer. We worked so hard to get it. A hat is $13. A shirt is $10, and a pair of jeans is $24. Okay. Now there's some more down here, but I know that you can get these. Okay. Actually, an inequality. Let's look at this. Write a system of inequalities to model this situation. Okay. A spiral notebook costs $3, so we've got 3 times S. And a 3-ring notebook costs $4. Actually, you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use X and Y. 3X, I'm going to call spiral notebook X. The 3-ring notebook I'm going to call Y. So $3 times X plus $4 times Y. How much money do we have to spend? Can be no more than, so that's got to be less than or equal to 36. Okay? You must have at least 10 notebooks. That means X plus Y has to be at least greater than or equal to 10. Okay. Well, let's look at this top one. I'm going to put that in slope-intercept form. So let's subtract the 3x over and then divide by 4. And this is going to be y is less than or equal to 9 minus 3/4 x. Now let's do the bottom one. If I just subtract the x over, that's all I have to do. Y is greater than or equal to 10 minus x. Okay, so let's graph these. First one, I'm going to go up 9, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Go up 9, and then down 3 and over 4. Down 3 and over 4. Down 3 and over 4. And this is going to be a solid line. And I need to shade below it. Now, I'm going to go blue for this second one. Let's graph that. That's going to be a positive 10, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then my slope is down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Now this is going to be tricky to see. I have to be greater than, that's a solid line, shaded above. Okay, so I see that right here, I'm going to put it in purple, where the red and green were both, or the red and blue were both, is purple. That's this area right in here. My graph was small, and I know that's hard to see, but that purple area. Okay, so graph and solve the system of equations. So that's graphing and solving. So the first thing we did was we wrote the system of inequalities, then we graphed it and solved it. Now we have to give 3 possible combinations of notebooks, and my graph is so sloppy. Honestly, I'm having trouble reading it. So let's look at these possible answers. Okay, let me get some, I'm going to put these points in yellow, actually. Let's do yellow. Right there's an answer. There's an answer. There's an answer. I think tucked back in here, there's an answer. There's an answer. And I don't think that next one. Those are our possible answers. Okay, so what are those points? Well, let's see. What was the x value? The x value was spiral. Okay, so how many spiral notebooks could we buy? Well, this one, that first point right there, that's 10. So we could buy 10 spiral and 0 3-ring. Or we could buy 11 spiral and 0 3-ring. Or we could buy 12 spiral and 0 3-rings. Or, what about that point right there? We could buy 10 spiral and 1 3-ring binder. Or, that one looks like we could buy 9 spiral and 1 3-ring. And it's kind of hard for me to tell, but I don't think, I can't tell if that next one is a part of our answer. I think that next one is, right there. It looks like we could also buy 9 spiral and 2 3-rings. So, any of those where it was shaded in the purple would be possible answers. Maybe even that one right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7, maybe we could buy 7 spiral and 3 3-rings. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look for sure. But that's it. Shoo! This was a long video, long assignment, but you made it through. I know you can do this on the test. Good luck.